Megan Lee, and welcome to the Noob Reviews. Today, I want to go over just a couple, three cute little comic books I found. When you go to the back of your comic book store, or kind of like any bookstore that sometimes they'll have comics too, and you go into those back bins and you just search through them, you can find some little treasures that are kind of cute like these. And so I found these three, and I don't know, once in a while I like to pick up like the kids comics and just see what's in there. So the first one is called Mighty Mouse. And I'd never heard of Mighty Mouse before. This comic book definitely gave me like Tom and Jerry vibes. With the cat, the mouse, and the slapstick comedy, right? So we are here at a house. It's a big city house. And we have these two mice that live in this house. And they find out about a mouse called Mighty Mouse. And it's a comic book that one of the kids of the house is reading, right? And so they become very obsessed with Mighty Mouse. And there's a cat, of course, that lives in the house. And he gets very annoyed with them. And he throws them out so that they have no home. And they're standing outside with no home, going, oh, I wish Mighty Mouse was here. And when you wish for Mighty Mouse, he appears. And so he runs into the house and just basically humiliates the cat. And this is where I get those Tom and Jerry vibes. Like, and it's just very slapstick comedy too, of course. Very fun, silly, and just plain entertaining. So basically he saves the day, the mice get to move back in, and the cat becomes their servant and serves them everything they could possibly want. So it was just really cute. Then we had like a little short comic called Gandy Goose and Sourpuss, and back to Mighty Mouse, saving the day. So we have our villain, we have our innocent victim, Pearl, and we have Mighty Mouse himself saving Pearl from the mean old villain, Oil Can Harry, you know. Typical villain. Typical falls, and we got Barrel involved, and trickery, all that stuff. Just really very much like Tom and Jerry for me. We had, did y'all ever watch that movie about the mouse? There are a bunch of movies. Fievel the Mouse. I used to love those. Anyways, there was one where it was like Fievel Goes West or whatever. And this story is Mighty Mouse Goes West. And we actually got we have the cowboy mice and we have the Indian mice. So there's that. No, they're actually, the Indians, are they cats? Oh, the Indians are cats, y'all. So that's interesting. But this is very harmless stuff. Yeah. They do try and crush this mouse. Mighty Mouse saves the day, of course. I was like, wow, are we gonna get like graphic here? Like they show the stone ready to like fall upon her and squash her like a bug. It was like, whoa, okay, here we go. Yeah, very adventurous. No, it's just kind of cute, silly, fun, entertaining, slapstick, comedy, comic book stories. You know, I had never heard of Mighty Mouse, but definitely Tom and Jerry vibes. And this is, I forgot to tell you guys where this is from. This is from, what year was this? Mighty Mouse Volume 1, number 12, 1949. Single copies, 10 cents. Subscriptions, including postage, $1 for 12 issues. What? Wow. That's so crazy. man. No, it's really cute. Fun stuff. Yeah. So yeah, go search those bins at the back. You never know what you're going to find. It might be fun. You never know. Okay. I also got Raggedy Ann and Andy, which I was never really into dolls growing up. I had Barbies. I kind of played with them, not really. And I played with baby dolls when I was very, very young. Got out of that pretty quickly. My grandma tried to get my sister and I into collecting like China dolls. And I always found, especially China dolls, just so creepy. Like, they're so dolls are kind of creepy. In my opinion, they're just creepy. There's a reason people make horror movies with dolls in them, okay? Because they're creepy. Anyway, so Raggedy Ann and Andy, not so creepy. They're like rag dolls. They're like a plushie toy, sort of. Except, I guess they're made out of rags. This one there's a lot of morals in these stories in here. Like, very much, these are lessons you need to learn in life. Like, there is a short story about, like, traffic safety and crossing the road and all of that. And this first one is about helping your neighbor, because Raggedy Ann and Andy's neighbor gets her cellar broken into, and these characters, they eat all her food, and then she has no food for the winter, so they build a cellar for her, and they have a shadow picture show, and they charge people, they have to bring an item of food so they can fill the cellar, that kind of thing. So every single Raggedy Ann and Andy story has a very like obvious moral behind it. Mighty Mouse was very much entertainment, and this one was very much like there is a moral for the children to learn in every one of these stories. So like helping your neighbor, or like traffic safety. There's a couple stories in here. There's this one. Now the moral of this story is called Princess No Good. And this princess nothing is good enough. It's about contentment, basically learning to be content and learning to find your own happiness within yourself, right? But the way in which they portray this character who is a servant, I was like, oh, this is 1947. Do you remember when I did that Wonder Woman, I reviewed the Wonder Woman comic book, first appearance of Nubia, and it was just a facsimile, like a reprint of the original, because I'd never be able to afford that. And they had this in this small print at the bottom. They said, this comic was written in a different time, so there may be themes of racism in here, but just remember, this is a different time, and this does not reflect upon whatever Marvel and what we believe, whatever, blah, 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 right? DC, whatever. It doesn't reflect upon us. This is just from this time period. There's no racism in there. 1947, Raggedy Ann and Andy. This is how they are portraying this character. Very exaggerated features. I was like, hey, that is something that I would consider racist. Go read First Appearance of Nubia. There's nothing racist in there. But there's two different black characters that they portray in these Raggedy Ann and Andy stories that have a really good moral to them. And it's in which these black characters, they portray them with very over-exaggerated features and very poor English, very uneducated sounding when they speak. Which, that part can be true because in the 1940s, not all of them would have been able to have much of an education. So they may speak a little bit differently or whatever. But yeah, just the exaggerated features and the very uneducated way they have them speak, like they make them sound like they're stupid, right? To me, that's racist. Go read First Appearance in Nubia. You can probably find a facsimile for yourself. Over exaggeration of somebody's features and whatever to make fun of them. sometimes we do that for fun. Like we get someone to draw a caricature of us, and you know those like caricature draw artists, and they will over exaggerate, like your head is like you have a big head or whatever, right? And it's just fun and it's funny. But this is like in the 1940s. This is how they still perceived people of color. And I was like, man, you want to complain about racism? It's in here. Not like, yeah, anyway. It was just interesting. It was interesting to see because that was that time period, right? And that's how Black people were portrayed with very exaggerated facial features. So, but I mean, other than that, there were some really great morals to these stories, like helping your neighbor, learning to be content, and grateful for what you have, traffic, road safety. Again, Raggedy Ann and Andy, just not into dolls, but I know they were very popular back in the day, so I thought I'd just pick it up as $5. Honestly, not worth anything. This is from 1947, but it's not like Raggedy Ann and Andy are something that are... They were popular in their time, but they're really not unless you have someone who's like a very specific collector of Raggedy Ann and Andy stuff. It was really only worth about $15 nowadays, and I got it for $5. So, yeah. The last one I picked up was Walt Disney Scamp. It's really cute. So this one was $30. And it is a second printing from 1961. So the first printing of this comic book was 1956. And this is the second printing in 1961. So that's the one I have. Excuse me. So it was really cute. Obviously, Lady and the Tramp were married or whatever. They're dogs. And they've had 3 puppies, and 2 of them look like Lady, and then Scamp looks like Tramp. And so Scamp is, again, there are, in this one, there's like a little moral to every story. It's not made so obvious like in Raggedy Ann and Andy, but there is a little moral here too. And this is definitely something I would share with like my nieces. They would probably love this. Super cute. Scamp gets into trouble. He's a lot like his dad, but he does have to learn some things like you shouldn't steal because he steals a bone from, he steals a dinosaur bone from the museum. And then he learns like you really shouldn't do that. And he almost went to the pound because he was almost caught and he had to put the bone back. Anyway, so like shouldn't steal is that little moral. And then there's this other one, because we get to meet the other characters. So Trusty the hound dog, you guys remember from Lady and the Tramp? Trusty the hound dog, tells really long stories, and everybody's heard the stories, and Scamp is kind of disrespectful to him, but Trusty is like the elder, so it's kind of just like a little story of respecting your elders, but told in just a cute, funny way. So every story, again, has that little moral, but it's not as obvious as Raggedy Ann and Andy, but they're still pretty fun and cute. And our last story was about bullying, and Scamp has this bully that he tries to stand up to. He gets chased off, and then his dad comes around, and the bully brings his dad around, and so the bully's dog dad fights Scamp's dad, Tramp, and then Tramp wins, and they scare off both the bully and the bully's dad. And I was like, oh, that's not how we tell kids to deal with bullies nowadays, right? We're like, just ignore them, just walk away. But no, like you need to stand up to people if they're being disrespectful or rude or whatever, and let them know that their behavior is inappropriate. You gotta stand up for yourself. Usually bullies are cowards, right? So you stand up for yourself, and they're usually gonna back down. That is the way it is. So I appreciate that. Stand up to your bullies and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, all in all, pretty cute. Would share them with my nieces. Would read them. Well, read them to them. I mean, I'm I'm not just going to hand these off to my 4-year-old niece and be like, oh, read a comic book. Ah! No. But I would read those stories to them. They're pretty cute. I don't find myself reading them again. The only ones I would maybe read again are like Donald Duck. I do like Donald Duck, and like Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. But other than that, like, I'm not reading Raggedy Ann and Andy again. Not even Scamp or Mighty Mouse, but unless it was to, a kid, right? You want to share that with them. But yeah, go to the back of your comic book store, dig through those boxes. You never know what you're going to find.